So today on a Famicom Friday, this is episode 2. I've decided to do this every now and then, maybe regularly when I have time for it, because some people seem to really enjoy seeing these old school games, and I actually heard back from the guy that inspired me to start doing this, Kean Walmsley, and you know, he was all for it, so you know, let's keep doing it. If I find time, I'll make them on Fridays. So this is Super Mario World. Really well-known game for the Super Nintendo, like one of my favorites. Probably one of the first games I actually played at all. So this is one of the first video games, if not the first video game I played in my life, and it's an absolute classic. So I might just do a couple of levels. So it's one of the first games that introduced the concept of an overworld, which is really cool. Like we had Super Mario Bros. 3, which sort of operated with an overworld as well, but I guess this one really is one that's most well known for having the overworld out of pretty much all the Mario games to begin with. And since then, it's, you know, went on to inspire a lot of other games, I would say. There's a lot of systems they sort of added in this game. I think there's a secret in here if I remember right. Oh no, it's here. If you do the spin jump, you can break the yellow blocks. That's right. Might do this level and maybe a Switch Palace. I think that's the level after this one. And if you get 5 of these coins, I remember you get an extra life. But it's just such a fun game to play, even as an adult. Like, there's just something very fun about Mario. You know, it's not the hardest game in the world, like, but you just the movement is just, it's so enjoyable. Characters are very likable. It's just a very easy to play, easy to enjoy sort of game. Sort of timeless as well. There's just sort of a nice feeling returning to this, even though, you know, I haven't played it for a very long time. Probably would have last played this, you know, during my high school days. So, it's been a very long time. I mean, last time I played this is when I was a little kid. No, I used to play Mario during high school as well. Don't tell my school bullies. I missed the finish line, which is a bit annoying. I'll probably play a few levels. I might get to my favourite level in the game, which is like the 4th level. Because I used to love seeing if I could just run through that entire level without stopping. So maybe I'll try that. But this is the Switch Palace, as we call it. So every time you unlock one of these levels, you essentially... whoops, there's heaps of coins here, if I remember right, yep. So every time you open up one of these levels, you unlock a different colour block in the world, and some of them contain different objects. This one, in this case, is really mostly just to build some bridges that I can walk over in later levels. You can technically beat the game without using them, it's just very difficult. Especially this one. If you skip the yellow Switch Palace, the yellow switches are everywhere later on. So we're just going to turn those dash blocks into solid blocks. Far out. It's been a long time since I played this. This is really cool. I mean, a lot of people might have started with Super Mario Bros. 1. That's probably like the most iconic Mario game. There was a remake for it on the Super Nintendo called Super Mario All-Stars, where they sort of remade the first 3 games, plus a Japanese one called The Lost Levels. And that's probably the other iconic Mario title on the Super Nintendo. But for me, this is definitely one of them. I've still got it. I think Yoshi's in here. So I think this is the first game where Yoshi was created. There might be like a Game Boy game he might have appeared on. I know there's a game called Yoshi Cookie, which is sort of like a Tetris ripoff, and I don't know if that came before Super Mario World. I feel like it did, but I'm not sure. It would seem like a very strange game for Yoshi to first appear in, given how iconic he is, but I guess you never know. The levels are pretty short when you know how to run through them, so in this case I'm just going to try to blitz these levels to get to my favourite one as fast as possible. I don't think I'm even running at the moment, technically. There we go, got through the finish line. If you get right up top, you get 30, and every time you get 100 stars, I think you get a bonus level, if I remember right. So you sort of just try to collect them as you go. So I think this is, yeah, I think this is my favourite level. Yes, yeah. So I'm not going to use Yoshi in this level, I'm just going to go on foot. I'm just going to abandon poor Yoshi. And I'm just going to try and run a majority of the way through the level. I think it's possible. Just trying to remember, I used to be really good at this level, but I'm probably going to forget some of the steps to take. Already screwed up. Technically missed a bit there. So yeah, I didn't quite get through there in one run, but sort of still got the rhythm down pat. Not quite running, but technically almost haven't stopped moving. There we go. So that was one of my favorite things to do. I might go all the way to the castle and then finish there, which might make the video a little bit longer. But you know, why not? Let's have a, I guess, an old classic nostalgia trip by going through the water level, or the, you know, the sort of water level. I guess you're sort of above the water, but then we'll go through one of the castles, just because that's, you know, that's the really nostalgic bit for me. The castles are always probably my favorite levels in terms of atmosphere and music as well. Didn't quite get that bit right. I think you're meant to hit this switch up the top so that you can turn all the blocks into, or coins into blocks, if I remember right. So I don't think I quite got that bit right, unfortunately, but that's alright, the level's pretty much finished anyway. It's a very small level, this one. There are like some pipes and things you can go down, but you can pretty much run through that level in no time at all. I think in that time I did it in about 43 seconds. I think you get 300 seconds to finish a level, and then after that you die. So we'll do Iggy's castle, and then I'll probably wind up this episode for now. But yeah, the castles are great, and the soundtrack for the castle is one of my favourite Nintendo songs. Donk. Don't actually need to hit them, but just so satisfying. So this is a really interesting mechanic. They sort of like turn around on different sides of the mesh. So it's a really interesting concept of having a 2D game that sort of has like layers, like foreground and background layers. Very, very unique. There were definitely a lot of concepts they were trying out here. Like I can hit this, I think yeah, like that. And I can sort of jump on the other side of the fence, which is really interesting. So you sort of want to be on the opposite side to the turtles so you can punch them. So he's going to go over the top, I'll go on the other side. Donk. So pretty cool, right? And then you just come out the other side. So really interesting concept that, you know, I didn't actually understand it at all as a kid. And then, you know, when I got a little bit older, I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. So I'm just going to hide in this hole. So this is like a side-scrolling segment. These are pretty classic in Mario, in that you pretty much have no choice as to how fast the screen is moving. They were in the very first Mario game. A lot of the underground levels had this mechanic, so they're pretty classic mechanics. So this is Iggy. So I don't know how. There we go. That was easy. So I think there's 8 castles in the game. There's about 90 levels, so I've just done a very small part of Super Mario World there. But it's a really fun game. If you haven't played this game, or just Mario in general, you know, highly recommend you check it out. They're classic games. Like I said, they're timeless. They age so well. I'm going to make sure, you know, if I have a kid, they're playing this game for sure. So hopefully this has been an enjoyable Famicom Friday, and that everyone has a good weekend. And I'll try to do these pretty regularly, if not every Friday for a while, because it's nice to take a little break and do something just a little bit different. But yeah, I'll see you next time.